Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Crew First Culture podcast, episode 3. My name is Jeremy. I want to say thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us here. As always, if you're new to the show, I want to welcome you and just say that we hope that to give you something valuable to leave with and just and looking forward to growing together. I recorded a little. I guess you could say I recorded an episode a while ago this morning, and it just it ran on and on and on, and I have a very bad problem of finding and exploring rabbit holes, and it's just I can't imagine it being very enjoyable to listen to, so I apologize as I'm growing in my, I guess you could say, podcast game. So I'm trying to learn and trying to figure out how to make them a little bit more entertaining, little easier to listen to. Uh, so want to kind of get back and attempt again at another one. I'm just trying to keep it a little bit shorter, but still get to my point. As I said in the end of the last episode, I was planning on having a guest for this show, and due to technical difficulties, that didn't happen. Couldn't get anything recorded that was worth putting out. So we will try again here in a few days and try to get that out here pretty quick. Looking forward to having this particular guest on and more just to add a little bit of energy and to the show. So once again, I appreciate your patience with me. I'm not exactly the out front, outspoken type person. I don't have the most energizing voice out there. I'm trying to give it a little bit of energy that's not natural for me, but at the same time, trying not to sound like a fake dummy. So it's a fine line I'm working with, and also trying to learn the a whole new realm of different apps and different hosts and trying to figure out how it all works. So it's definitely a work in progress, and I appreciate anyone who is sitting here listening with me. And I know that we will be doing some really good things. It's just going to take a little bit to get to that point to where getting the full benefit out of the show. So the broken record here is just I appreciate your time, and look forward to talking to people as far as hearing what you have to say about the show, hearing some things that you would like discussed, and really just I just want to make this a want to make it a kind of a personal show. How can I make it better for each of you? And no, I'm not gonna be the best, and I'm not gonna hit all the topics, but any time that I can get some feedback of ways to make it better, ways of reaching more people, I'm really excited and looking forward to hearing that. So the what I wanted to talk about today is just something that has kind of came to mind off and on, and especially here recently, is just what we see on social media. What we use social media for, what we get out of social media. And again, I want to try to keep it fairly short, so I'm going to try my best not to go too far down rabbit holes, which I have a very bad problem with. But uh, really, the biggest thing that I want to address is just kind of keeping keeping things real. You see lots and lots and lots of highlight reels on social media. That seems to be the go-to for everybody, and I get it. That's fine. That it's fun to post vacation pics, and if you're meeting big names and whatever realm you're interested in to post that, and post anniversary pics of giant bouquets and how happy you are to be with, so I mean, that's great. That's a big part of life, and it's fun to show those things off. But what I want to be here to talk about is the opposite end of that spectrum. It's the absence of the real post. It's the absence of here's a problem that I'm going through, and this is what I'm doing to to help that problem, and this is how this solution can help you too. This is how I can help others if you're out there doing and dealing with the same things. And I know that social media isn't really built for that. There are a lot of people out there that are doing things like this, and I'm not trying to say it's not happening, but those are the people that aren't getting the likes. Those are the people that aren't getting the followers. They're it's just it's just not something that is accepted as well. If you put a stud of a man or a good looking girl doing squats and some guy flexing in bunker gear, you're going to get thousands and thousands of views and likes and shares, and to be honest, it's it's a little frustrating to me to be somebody that feels so passionate about having a message to give and to share, and you see the same pictures, the same posts just over and over again, just shared all over the place, of just hollow, empty posts, just pictures of eye candy. And I guess that is me being honest and saying it's hard for me to not be uh I don't jealous isn't the term I would use on it, but it's hard for me not to be frustrated to say, you know, I'm trying to do something good here. Why can't I have the reach that some muscle-headed dummy is getting for doing nothing but flexing? Why can't I have that? And that's a flaw. It's a huge flaw for me, and it's something I have to deal with constantly. I'm not a prideful guy. I'm not a self-promoter. And that being said, that makes it very hard for me to survive on social media because those are the people that excel. And that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, as somebody like me who isn't that type of person, it makes it even harder for me to share a message. And so, that being said, that leads exactly right into what I'm here to talk about, and that's just showing your flaws, showing your weaknesses, your life experiences that didn't go well, telling stories of experiences that you have been through and made it to the other side. Those are things that are so important, especially nowadays when maybe mental health is going to be kind of taking a little bit of a plunge because of the quarantine and the lockdown that everybody's facing right now. And it's okay to say, hey, this post is to show you a lesson that I learned today, and something that I screwed up on, because I know there's others out there that are doing it, others out there that it has happened to, and it's okay. And not only is it okay, but it is so valuable to people out there. You you are making such a big difference to people that have been in that spot or are currently in that spot. it's so important to share those experiences, to tell people that you're not alone if this is you. Yeah, I've tried to do it a few times. There was one particular incident, and I'm sure I'll talk about this a few times in the future as well. But one event a couple months ago, truly, it was a turning point for me, I would say. And it was an important time for me. And so just the short story of it is we were doing some training in town out of district, and uh structure fire came in. So we were literally probably 8 blocks away from this structure fire, and way closer than anybody else. It was not our district, so we basically were fed on a silver platter a chance to steal a structure fire away from another district. Pretty much the best possible scenario you could be given. And no, it wasn't just laid out for us, because we had ladders off on a building, and we had some other things going on that we had to kind of button up first. So we took care of that, and I allowed myself to, I guess you could say, I wasn't as focused as I should have been. I thought I knew where I was going, so I wasn't paying as close of attention to the the map, and I got us freaking sent in the wrong direction. And by the time I figured it out, there was no easy way to get back to where I was, or back to where we were supposed to go, except for backing up, turning completely around, and going right back where we came from. And that silver platter of a structure fire turned into, well, getting beat by the crew that it was supposed to be first in anyway. So yeah, if we were just sitting at the station, it would all ended up being the same deal. It was theirs. We weren't supposed to be first in, but it none of that matters. I beat myself up for a long time, and there are other some more details about that particular call that made it even worse, and I kind of want to save that because I feel like that's something that we could get into even in even more depth in the future. But so when it was all over, I had a process to work through, because I was very upset and disappointed in myself, and I allowed it to affect me emotionally and mentally for several days, and struggled with it. And so, you know, my guys, my crew did a great job of kind of picking me up, and they knew I was upset, and I'm sure they were upset as well, but they did a great job of putting that aside and trying to to be there for me. And anyway, really kind of the last step of that process that I had to work through is I finally decided, what, I'm not gonna allow this to affect me negatively anymore. I'm gonna learn my lesson from it, and ultimately I'm gonna help others learn their lesson from it, or learn a lesson from my mistakes. So I wrote up a post and put it out there, and just basically said that this is where I screwed up. And I made a just a kind of a picture with the words on it. Every structure fire is our game 7, and that's, I completely believe that. Every time we go to a fire, that's like do or die for us. We don't have a lot, so we have to perform at the top of our game. And so that was kind of the picture that I put on there, and in the statement below it is the first thing I said was, and I blew it. And so I worked my way through that situation in the post to share that experience, to share that screw up. And it was amazing that as soon as I did that, it was like, okay, I'm ready to move on now, and that was it. But I feel so strongly about, you know, it is awesome to use social media as a way to inspire others, a way to motivate others, to way to a way to show people how you're doing in these quarantine times, your at home workouts and your motivation through sayings and phrases and whatever. It's awesome. People that are doing that, I appreciate you so much because I've not been that person that has just gotten into this lockdown era without a hiccup. It has been hard for me. I will be the first to admit that. It's been hard for me to keep my motivation up. It's been very hard to keep my routines up, to stay in training at work and just to be positive. It has been a struggle for me. And so those of you out there that have been able to maintain that inspiration and motivation and positivity, I have total respect for you and I appreciate you spreading that message to me and to everybody else out there because we need people like that. And it's been people like that that have helped me kind of get over the hump. But at the same time, we also need the people out there saying, hey, this has not been easy for me. I'm struggling with this. And these are some things that I have kind of used to get me through that because yes, it is important to see those positive stories and that inspiration, but it's very nice to know that if I am the one struggling, that I'm not the only one struggling. You know, if if I'm having a hard time with something and all I see are people that are just loving the situation that I'm having a hard time with, it's going to make it harder for me. So if I see that, but then I also see a few people that are saying, I'm having a hard time with this, how are you doing? And these are some things that I'm doing to kind of help that. The combination of those two different styles are so much more of a help than to not have that real true second side of the coin. So I just want to kind of put this out there to help you guys see how important it is to not only post the good stuff, but don't be afraid to post the lessons learned, the mistakes, the steps you're taking to avoid being having your motivation stripped away, all that stuff. It's just we can help each other so much in those areas, and I would really appreciate seeing, that side of the coin too. And you don't have to be negative all the time. And actually, it's not good to be negative all the time. Just mix in a few of that type of mindset too, because we're all in this together. We all make mistakes. We're all learning, hopefully, and it's just refreshing to see some real posts out there as well. And so that's really my biggest thing today. I know these are trying times for everybody. I know that everybody has some things that they could say, hey, I'm not the best at this. Is anybody else out there struggling with this? I'm not the best at this, but this is where I'm growing. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there and to kind of make you think a little bit about it. If there are situations that come to mind, feel free and feel empowered to do that. because I promise you, you're going to help so many people if you just reach out with real stories and 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 give that information and give that power to people to know that others are there, others have been there, others have conquered this. So anyway, before I get rambling on too far, I think that's kind of the basis of what I'm trying to do here. And again, thank you so much for everybody out there that's really driving home the motivation, the inspiration, all that. We need that so much. So keep it up because without you, it's harder for people like me to break out of the slumps that I was in. So thank you so very much. I appreciate you all out there. If you have any comments or discussions you want to hit me with, feel free. I would love to hear from anybody. It it makes a huge difference for me, for people like me that are trying to share a message, trying to help people to grow with them, to just to hear from anybody that's impacted by anything that's said. So email is crewfirstculture at yahoo.com. You can direct message me at either Instagram or Facebook on my pages, both named Crew First Culture. So please reach out. I can't wait to hear from you. Hopefully, can can gain some knowledge, can gain some expertise, and some just to get better at this podcast thing. I feel like I want to keep doing it because there's some good to be had. It's just I don't want to do it just to say I'm doing it. So promise I will get better over time. I'm sure having some guests on that we can throw some extra energy into the conversation will help as well. So I will be working on that. But like always, appreciate your time. Hope you have a great day. Ask you guys to really be mindful of how you can help others. Keep your eyes open. It's always a good time to grow and a good time to help each other. So stay safe out there. Watch out for each other, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. See ya.